I must keep up the pressure. Yesterday, one of my videos got trolled. This con man posts 25 videos a day. Someone should call him out. And I thought, wow, look at that. It was within a moment of, as soon as I launched the video, I got this trolling. And I thought, wow, I'm winning. Because nobody watches my videos. Now, I'm hoping that in the future, there'll be millions, everyone will watch bits of them and pull out the information they need from them. Yeah, there's lots of ranting and rambling, but there's some real gold dust in there that you need to know. So this is what you need to know. Saturn and the time particle. So the Earth's the centre of the universe, and that the balance mechanism is now obvious in terms of what the time particle looks like and what Saturn looks like. So there's the time particle at the centre is a rigid body of ice surrounded by a film of water atom thick. So thin, thinner than an atom, two-dimensional thick. It's the subatomic equator of atomic force. Around that rigid body should be a disk, a support mechanism that supports the vector axis of the rigid body. The Euler disk, imagine an Euler disk, you know, spinning a penny. As it gets near the end, it's doing what's called a spin roll, and what you're seeing is the precession of the axis. The axis can't keep up with itself. The axis at the center is going so fast, there's a whip action on the vector axis. And then when that disk falls flat on the planet, that vector axis is now, you've proved that it exists. You've proved the motion of the planet is that vector axis, because it's now at rest on the planet. You see, you just accelerated faster than it by doing the spin roll. So you observe the shape of the wave function, and then when it stops, it's now at rest mass, but it's still moving in time. So you're seeing the whip action without the motion at all, just the whip action. And so from the center of the time particle out to Saturn represents layers of force fields. And that the disks of Saturn shouldn't be there. They should be around the time particle as a little hovercraft, yeah, a little spaceship. A disk, a round rigid body with a disk, tapering disk of force around it. And that force will be visible because it's a vortex. Central planet. And so, because the vibration, so between the central planet and Saturn, there's a balance for your universe. It can either be massive out to Saturn, or it could be really small down here on Earth. So the Earth forms the rings of the time particle. And so that's where the ice of the North Pole is. So the two states of the planet are spherical or discoid. One or the other. Now when the planet is round like this, the vector axis is massive. The precession of the vector axis is too big, and that creates imbalance and wobble. And so the stability of the system must be bigger, it must have more mass. So it goes out bigger to where Saturn is. And so Saturn represents the mechanism. You see, it's the sphere around us. What we see in Saturn is the disk that's actually around us. It's not a planet miles away. It's a sphere of force around us. We see the dot point of it reflected back at us, so we can see the outside of our surface. So the time particle itself is currently out of whack, and we're in hell. So this is hell. Engineering is that the time particle, inside its film of water, inside its other rigid body, and just picture that it's rubbing the side because it's going out of balance. So it's hitting the side, collision of a rigid body, and it goes, it hurts, and it's too hot, it's at a temperature it doesn't like, and it's making it, and so it screams and cries in pain. That vibration of that scream is discordant until you get to Saturn, and then it's balanced enough, and now the universe is stable again. If we behave with our true nature, with true sexual morality and excellence, the effect of that has in this system of vibrations, we raise our vibrations, we will bring the stability from Saturn down here to Earth. And so the rings of Saturn will now be the flat planet, size of the planet spread out, it's a blanket, and the time particle will be the tiny particle at the center. And that's the system of stability, the disks. When we live on the disk world, that's heaven, we get gold in our blood, because we get round red blood cells. They become gold. The density of gold is relative to meters squared per second squared. G, big G, is the relative density of gold, and it's relative to J and K to twisting. And so when it's heaven, gold is buoyant. So the time particle is made of gold. So you've got a gold coating. You place a gold coating on the time particle by thinking, by loving the time particle. And that's the reward we get, is a flat planet heaven. Peace, living in the kingdom of God, on the kingdom of God. As above, so below. It's wonderful, isn't it? It's the elastic universe. You're in hell, screaming Christ, time particle. You're in heaven, singing Christ, time particle. Oh. Our job is to match that cyclically with the simultaneous orgasm period. Rest, bleed, prepare, big O, rest, bleed. Natural cycle of the human species. Peace on earth. Peace on earth. Believe it. It's coming. A massive shake-up. Yeah, and I'm just placing these down here. So troll, another video you can have a go at. Let's see. I'm excited. Follow the Rebel King.